Hey guys, it is Will here coming at you with a book review for Bolt Action. So this is the new campaign, which is the last one for the African/Italian theater, starting this year/winter. Again, kind of fits, being winter. We're going to be moving back to more in-depth version of the Eastern Front, starting with Case Blue. So the reason why I'm doing this book in particular over the other ones, and maybe you guys want to see more in-depth reviews of the books and talk about the campaign and stuff, history, going through it with you, let me know down below. I know I have some other videos. I'm getting into another sort of era of wargaming that I'm going to do reviews on. I also have the Apex stuff still going on, stream painting stuff. Make sure to check down below. YouTube's been unsubscribing people again, so check that out. Make sure to subscribe if you're finding this channel, and hopefully you like. If not, we have the Italian Tough Gut. This is second to Soft Underbelly, which was it was a fun campaign. I wasn't a huge Italian Afrika Korps fan. I was definitely wooed by the Market Garden paratrooper stuff of World War II. But it has grown on me. Italy and Africa has kind of became my new favorite theater. And this book is amazing for that. If you didn't know if you liked this sort of setting with Italians and stuff, or you kind of thought about maybe trying Italians, this is a pretty huge book. As you can see, our index as normal, and we have about 176 pages in this book about things. So we have, of course, their art and reviews. We have our operations where they have the art, they show models, maps. Then we have that. Our maps. So this basically explains a lot of like what happened, then gives you kind of scenarios for the second half of the Italian campaign here. But the main reason why you want to get this, besides a lot of fun, especially if you play Italians and stuff, there's going to be a lot of defender scenarios in here that you get to just play. As you can see here, they have a lot more of the different divisions. Gates of Hell, maps, casino. You got some special rules. But the real reason why you're here, like some beautiful tables. The real reason why you're here is for the units. So we have British stuff, and this is some of the fun stuff here that we're going to see. So starting off here, we have New Zealand. New Zealand finally gets an army list on their own, though you could just run them as Australians. But I'm probably going to get some backlash from saying that, make sure my phone's not going off. But we have your basic officer. We have your late squads. We have your Maori and your Indian infantry sections. But we're basically going to look at some of the hot topic models here. There's a lot of infantry, a lot of different things. The British and Canadians get expanded in this book. Polish Commando. So this is one that I was super excited for. If you didn't know anyone who wanted to play Polish, or you play Polish and you wanted a buff, here you go. So this is good because it's 85 points for veteran. And there's some models that did get updates in here. Like Canadians got changed, a rework. Some Polish stuff got reworked. But this one here, it's insane. Like you got your SMGs, any can have SMGs. But the big one is down here, which is you got your tough fighters, these things. Basically, so good. These dudes are amazing. And you basically make them out of the you make them out of the British Airborne, basically. They do have Polish Marines. We finally get the Staghound, gets a model finally, and stats, along with a named character. There's a bunch of named characters in here, which if you bought this book, you get this model, which is Wojak, which he is pretty good. The French get an update in here. Free French, because this is when the Free French kind of regrouped. Everyone kind of gets these reconnaissance squads. These are really good. These are new edition. Basically, all armies are going to get a form of this. 100th, my favorite battalion of the American forces, gets a unit in here. For those who may not know, the 100th was the unit that was made completely of Japanese soldiers that were American citizens. And we have some of these boys. We have the 3rd Armored Division. And I can't remember the 3rd one was. FS Anzio stuff. We have the 45th Division. GOM Irregulars. These guys are pretty fun. We have Northwest African Trailers Squad. I can't say that word. First motorized. There's going to be a lot of motorized stuff. This unit's pretty good. You got for your French. So if you want to play your French Freemen with your armies and slap some Soma plates onto your Shermans, you can. Which this book actually has a really cool rule. They have a lot of the stuff in this book. They kind of made it where a lot of it is made for tournament play and general usage. And there's rules in here to combine armies. They're definitely going harder with their books now, and I'm really, really loving this. Whoever writes these books for Warlord and Osprey, man, they need a raise, because I've been loving every source book, and I've been buying every source book because of that. Whereas with back in the day with Games Workshop, freaking, I only got the bare minimum. I hated a bunch of it. It was so overpriced. But this Warlord is definitely my all-time new favorite company, and I will praise them until they do something stupid. Like, I'm kind of because they've upped the prices a little bit more than they should, but they've actually been more open about reasons why, and they're not just trying to hide it and be like, oh, we're the poor people. They're just like, yeah, no, shit happened, here you go. But, well, politely doing it. Now we have our first major hero, I'd say, of this book. He has a whole section. A lot of you Americans will know this guy. He even has a Sabaton song from him. But this is Audie Murphy. And this dude is a powerhouse in the game. So we have, at 130 points veteran, he is a commander. He's a sergeant. And it says right here, he is a first lieutenant for the purposes of building your generic list. You can give him an LMG or an MG42. And now they're starting to make, with this book, anything. The MG42 now is what gives you the Hitler Buzzsaw rule. It's not necessarily the army nowadays. It's the actual weapon that has it. So he gets a +2 to hit. He requires a default of a default of 6 to wound him instead of 5 for me, because he's a veteran. So man, he's gonna be super hard to kill. Yep, Hitler's Buzzsaw if he takes the MG42. I don't know why he gets MG42. Maybe it's in the lore somewhere. There's a huge section. So he gets a +1 to hit. So now this is something that's a lot of people are going to ask about. This isn't a pen mod, like PEN. This is not a pen modifier. This is a to hit modifier. So you still need a pen modifier on your weapon to hurt vehicles. So so I know that's going to be a question a lot of people are going to have, but a lot of people don't play with named characters, which kind of sad. They do. I would like to see more people play with them. They do look a lot fun. He gets a +2 morale bonus, and he does it to 6 inches. And he also gets the snap 2. And he is 3rd division. So he gets the special rules for being in the 3rd division. And he rolls 2 dice for being in combat. So flipping this, and we have this boyo here. He's pretty fun. He's pretty good. A lot of the named characters in here are low costed for what they can actually do. So, and again, the American allied guys get more abilities than the stuff. So for the Italians here, they mostly get a lot more mountain dudes and bikes, armored. And you have your general here. We have the German side, so your German allies. A lot of paratrooper stuff because it was paratroopers, Italian SS, Grenadier Squad. Basically, more of this stuff's going to be themed around the Italian theater. This is when their supplies and stuff are starting to go down. The Panzer Schreck or Panzerfaust gets invented here / is used by the Italians. The Panzer 30. If anyone knows the history about the Panzer 30, or if I find it, I'll post it here, and you guys can kind of read it on the screen. We have some Lear Pioneer assault squads. They're basically the same as normal, but you can take the Panzerfaust 30. We have Gibber, I can't say that name. It's a German squad here, but they're basically your mountain boyos. They're your mountain boyos. And those guys. Panzer Grenadier squads. These boyos. We got some Fallschirmjäger and Pioneers. The new one for this unit, we got the Gweer Sniper Team, which looks pretty sick. They basically, it's a sniper team for a little bit cheaper than a sniper team, or maybe a little bit more. But you get your Gweer 43, which has fire maneuver from the Americans and semi-auto, so you get a hit on a you get a second shot if you roll a 4-up, or a 5-up if you're a regular. Then they made it official stats, where you have your unreliable Tiger and Elephant to make them cheaper to play, because I know a lot of people had issues with them being too expensive to bring to an army. Then we have the spicy larger Goliath, and we have some anti-air. So we have anti-air car and an anti-air T-38 or T-34. And then we have this boyo and this boyo and some other major characters. Some specific infantry or Italian dudes. Italians with an MG42 team, which gets Hitler Buzzsaw. More pictures. Heroes. You have that boyo. And new theater selectors, which we can get into. A lot of them add some army rules / they're basically army lists for those specific things. You get here like the commandos and Polish commandos now get army rules here. So you get some of those. But the big one is 50 cal mounts, bulldozer blades. We get some things about canister shots, delay fuse shells, flash suppressors, mic target, which I don't know anyone who's not going to take this. This is very good. It is a 30 points add-on to your artillery observer, and it gets a +1 to the artillery chart, and then D6 plus 8 inches for the mic target to effect radius. Of course, mine flail, so like you can make your crab Shermans. Irish stuff. You have that. Polish stuff. United States stuff. They get scoot and shoot. If you use a M3, they get to a fire order. They can move after they shoot. They can do they can reverse move. Ooh. For 5 points, one member of a regular infantry squad becomes a sniper, basically. And they get a +1 to hit modifier when you give them a fire order. And they can target a separate model. Time on target, U.S. artillery. When they, for 50 points on your support artillery guy, when the thing comes in, your enemy cannot go down. Tire chains, they just go through mud. There is terrain stuff in here. We have that. Cool. So this looks like a lot of fun for that. A lot of these lists seem like they can be actually competitive too. Again, it's up to your local tournament guys to see what it is, but again, I mostly play this for the fun and just to try all these lists out. French get theater selectors. And then German stuff, they get some booby traps, just like partisans. So if you want to play partisans, you get that. You also have your butterfly bombs, camouflage bunkers, your pioneer squads. They can use Italian vehicles. log and wire anti-bogging devices so they can travel through holes and stuff. Don't basically get much besides that. And Operation Beam, whatever. And some Italian theaters. Forza Dianmi. These units remove D2 pins whenever they pass an order instead of just the one. So, and you basically take stuff from their book. So non-German infantry weapon teams. So this is like a mix theater selector here. So you can take Germans and Italians. So you can give them stuff. Fallschirmjäger support. They can get pairs Duo C low ammo. So you reduce 2 inches by your artillery observer stuff. Then we have new stuff. Again, they'll reprint these in books just so you have them for that scenario. So you don't have to go out and buy all their books, which is really nice. But we have chaplains, which have been kind of updated. So this is the big one. This is the big controversy, I guess you can say, or hot topic of this book that a lot of people are going to talk about. This is the rebalanced Navy Observer. So for those who do not know what the Navy Observer was when it first came out, it was a unit that could call in such a large blast template for 200 points that it didn't matter if you killed a unit or hit a unit, it would just flip vehicles, which would insta-kill them. It would just wipe the board, and it was so bad that, just like Eldar in 10th edition, that a lot of tournaments banned the use of these things. So these have been updated with new things, new points, and they've been called something else completely, but they are the same thing. So we're going to actually go in depth with this and talk about this one. So we're going to go based off regular, so 150 points regular. 1 forward observer, super heavy, and up to 2 men. Whatever, because it's generic. Your usual costs. Now, they do have a list here for your free British artillery observer. It is an extra 50 points. So because normally an artillery observer is 100 points, so 50 points. So there you have. So it has a new fire for effect chart. So when you do as normal to hit and stuff, and when you roll to do your chart, you roll a dice for each unit, friend or foe, within d6 plus 7. And then you roll this. And then you have 1 to 4, direct hit. Does not direct the hit, but takes d3 pins. And then if it's a 5, the unit suffers a near miss. Infantry units suffer wounds. Place 1-inch template over the target, resolve with a +5 pen. If the vehicle suffers a near miss, the shockwave from the explosion may cause a superficial damage. Roll on a 1, 2, or 3. Near miss does nothing. 4, 5, 6 causes superficial damage. Roll on the damaged vehicle chart at a -3. All units receive a D3 pin markers. Infantry and artillery can go down and take half hits from near miss, or if you take that time effect, they don't get to. Near misses do not affect buildings, and then on a 6, this is where it hurts. And the unit takes direct hit from a very large caliber shell. 4-inch template, +5 HE or pen, D6 plus 1 pin markers. Infantry and artillery can go down. Armored targets are hit on top armor. If building or bunkers are hit directly, they're treated as if being hit by basically a super heavy tank. So 3d6 plus 1. So you'll level buildings with this, and you'll just kill whatever. So I think for now on, people are going to take these boys. I'm definitely going to take them. That's why I have it tapped, but damn. Then we have intelligence officers from the last few books. Mules have been added. So basically a mule team is just a shittier horse, which is half the points. It's 3 up, light gun or howitzer. It's stubborn though, so when you roll, so they mix. Stubborn is a universal word, but they also use it in this, and this stubborn is different. This means if you roll any doubles when you're doing a morale check, it goes down as if it failed. It doesn't apply to Fubar. And then, of course, because you have to take apart the gun to attach it and stuff, you get a pin marker for hitching up a weapon or taking off a weapon. But then the horse, on the other hand, the horse has been updated again to be better and back to how it used to be. So it can tow anything now. It is a 3-up skin, but it is 8 points. It's slow. So if you need points, they're here. But horse lumber, I still need to buy one. I know Rubicon makes them. Demolition charges. We have our camel bunkers. Rules for that. Rules for things. So you got emplacements now have rules and point costs. Minefields are more in depth about how to do them. And dug in holes and terrain stuff. How to dig in vehicles. And then this is the multinational force. So this is the big rules I was talking about, how you can play multiple armies together. So this kind of explains how you do that. Basically, similar rules. We have, first of all, we encourage mixing only with both sides agree, so you can't just do it without telling your opponent. They have to agree. So things like morale bonuses and special army rules don't affect the others. When assembling a mixed force, select at least one platoon for one nationality and then at least one platoon from another nationality. The points cost total of the platoons added together must be equal to the agreed points. For example, 1,000 points of Germans. You might select, if you're versing 1,000 points of Germans, then you may use a US platoon of value of 500 and then one British one of 500. It does not necessarily have to be a 50-50, but that is left to the player. So a large Italian force may include a smaller German contingency. If you're using the theater selectors to pick these platoons, it is best for you to pick the forces that make sense together. During the game, assign different colored dice to each nationality will speed up things considerably at the end of the game. Calculate which side's one is normal. If you have the Allied cooperation, though, theater... If you have the Allied cooperation special rule for your army, or you just have it, officers in multinational forces with the Allied cooperation rule may bestow their morale bonus and their snap to action ability to the other force that's with them. Then we have some rules about solid stone buildings, because a lot of the buildings in Italy were very strong. They just add a little bit more strength to it. Trench foot, this is kind of like sand stuff. You're like basically artillery, but stage 2 artillery. So you get a roll for pre-bombardment twice, basically. Ad hoc units, so you can throw things together with a few small units for cost and stuff, like half-powered. Rule the skies, so the Americans get better stuff for air support. Same with allies. We got fog and rain and mud. And rubble from Stalingrad is back. And sewer movements from it. Well, that's basically it. This is the Italian Tough Guts book. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of little quick flip through. Sorry I didn't take too much time to actually look into stuff on it. It's definitely worth getting the PDF or buying your own copy of this. I don't want to share too much because I'd rather, one, not get slapped by, hey, you're trying to sell our shit to people online. But two, also, I want you guys to go support Warlord and pick up this book and read it yourself. Even if it's in a game store, just be gentle with the spines. Don't damage it on them. Don't fully open the book, kind of peek in it. But it is definitely worth checking out and playing these campaign scenarios. And I'm super excited for Case Blue because it's going to introduce large, multi platoons fighting each other sort of game modes, along with your skirmish game mode. So we're going to get everything from, firefighter, whatever their skirmish 10-man game mode was, to their epic scale sort of tank battles. So with that, guys, we will see you in the next video. I got some to edit and all that stuff. But yeah, go take a look at this book. It's great. I'm excited for the next one. Bye-bye.
Click the video. Click it. Click the video. You know you want to. Click it.